The bar for these stories is on the floor. Let's see if we can get a shovel and start digging. Welcome back to RPG Horror Stories, where I go on Reddit so you don't have to. Yep, another week. New batch of stories. We are going to RPG Horror Stories on Reddit and taking the top 3 from this week. Starting it off, DM kills my character after session 0 because I didn't respect his DM PC. That stands for Dungeon Master Player Character. It is a self-insert for those Dungeon Masters that want to play and DM at the same time. Good if done right, but kind of like playing with loaded dice if done wrong. Let's see where this goes. Posting mostly to vent. I joined this ongoing 5e campaign in a custom setting. The setting seemed interesting, not too in-depth, but still promising. DM tells me they've been playing for more than 2 years, which gives me hope that this could be the stable weekly game that I was looking for. I created a character and we had a session 0, only me and the DM. I was surprised by the quality and the dedication of the DM. It was really good. Very much related to my backstory, very immersive, very personal, which prompted me to be very hyped for session 1. They always start out good, don't they? The first session starts and I already have to wait 1 hour to play, waiting for the other characters to be in the correct spot to join in. I wait, a bit annoyed, but still hyped to play. Then, when I'm able to act, I'm told my character was mind-controlled by this DM PC for 1 day or more. Homebrew ability DC 24 Wisdom, and the same DM PC had stolen my soul. Another homebrew ability, no saving throw or anything, because I told him my name. What the fuck? Okay, wait. So, OP joins the game, right? Pleasantries. You gotta get him out of the way. They join in, and immediately they are mind controlled, and their soul is stolen. So if I'm getting this straight, the DM PC is not only a self-insert, but also is a DM insert in this game. You control the character. What is this, the United States healthcare system? After that, I was already considering quitting, but I decided to give the DM the benefit of the doubt. Bad choice. If you see a red flag, get out of there. When I can move again, I'm in a tavern. His DM PC approaches my character, stopping all magic items in the area with a gesture and mind controlling all the NPCs around us. Oh, come on. When he reaches me, he basically tells me, I will give you your soul back if you entertain me. At that point, I was already pretty annoyed and almost checked out, so I told him, not interested, fuck you. The DM tells me, look, I have given you a chance, but if you don't obey my NPC, he will kill you on the spot. And he indeed killed my character because I wasn't willing to play to his tune, and I didn't retract my answer. Good for you. That is the easiest out of this situation you could have ever given yourself. This has undertones, if you know what I mean. Oh, hey, yeah, I'm so excited to join this. I'm really excited to play D&D and get out there, and this seems like the weekly session that I'm really looking for. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm excited to have you. Yeah, we go through like, yeah, the session 0, that was pretty good. You did really good in that. And then when we join up, it'll really kick off from there. That is so good to hear. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, so I'm gonna join in, and hi, I'm Remeron. Nice. I am mind controlling you. What? You also gave me your name, therefore it is mine now. I own your soul. Wait, what? No, you wake up. You're in a tavern. What? I don't understand. What's happening? Play my game, or else you will pay. I don't like this. I don't want to play no more. Too bad. Play my game, or you're dead. Okay. I guess I'm dead then. No, play my game with me. This is ridiculous. I tried to be polite, and I told the DM, look, I don't think this is the game for me. And for some reason, the other players were angry at me and wanted the DM to kick me on the spot. I peaced out and left the server. Good for you. This isn't okay by any stretch of the word. But if, say, this is an agreed upon scenario within the campaign, and before the campaign started, you said, all right, guys, so it sounds like a fae. So this fae is now ferrying your party along the multiverse. And the only way to get out of it is by doing his tasks, and he will give you your soul back because you gave him your name. Then maybe I might be down with this, but there was no discussion about this. There was no consent by both parties. Consent is very important. And it seems like they were just doing this to do this. Like, this is their game that they play. They like controlling their players. A controlling DM is a controlling person, and a controlling person is a toxic person. It basically goes down to that. If you see this red flag early on, get yourself out of that situation. You don't need to be there. More than anything, it was very confusing. It was like I experienced two completely different DMs in games. I did watch a couple of games before joining in, and despite I saw some weird behaviors, I never expected anything like this. Only silver lining is that I didn't invest much in the campaign. That is good. Again, the more time you waste trying to fix the situation, the less time you have to put yourself in a better one. So I'm very glad that OP got out of the situation early. It seemed like session 1, they realized this was a bad fit and immediately pieced out. Look for red flags. I know, honey, come here, listen. I know it's very exciting to find a D&D game, a campaign that you've been waiting for, but you've waited this long, find the right one. If it doesn't work first session and you're seeing red flags, find another game. On to the next. So this next story has an essay warning on it. So for those of you who are triggered by those scenarios, I'm going to put a timestamp on the top of the screen here. That is when the story will end, and you can resume from there. This next story. I couldn't become a vampire hunter because I'm a woman. Oh, we love sexism, don't we? Fairly new to posting on Reddit, so I hope this is readable. Trigger warning for sexual assault. TLDR, couldn't become a vampire hunter because I'm a woman, so I either had to become a nun or stay at home. For obvious reasons, I won't use any real name in this post. First things first, to set the scene, I'm a trans woman. This has nothing to do with the story, but I wanted to give context for how I felt. Longtime friends group playing Not the End. DM is my best friend, who is a cis woman, and my brother is in the group as well, so we are all really close as a group. Anyway, let's get to the story. We were playing our usual spooky night session for Halloween, aka low effort one-shots where we just want to have some silly fun in a spooky setting. This particular one was set in the Middle Ages, but with vampires and magic. I'm playing a 20-year-old woman brawler, who together with the party lived in a small village where nothing really happens. One day out of nowhere, people start going missing, and one of them is my character's sister. So me and the party start to dig around the town for clues. We soon find that the church is trying to hide something, and here's where things go downhill for me. I'm not excited. We knew that the church was hiding stuff, so my character, being the muscles of the group, tried to intimidate one of the priests, who didn't take me seriously because I was a woman and said I should go back home since I was clearly distressed because of my sister's disappearance. So the other member of the party had to step up and persuade the priest into giving some information. Needless to say that I felt like crap. I felt like my choice was completely invalidated, but I moved on. Yeah, that sucks. These are games. They're fantasy role-playing scenarios, right? Invalidating somebody's identity like that and not giving them options because who they are as a person, already off to a bad start. This is a red flag. I hate that this is this person's friend group because she's kind of stuck there. Socially, she is stuck there. That's not fun. After talking with the priest, we learned that the vampire lurked in the city at night, kidnapping people, and the church contacted some vampire hunters that deal with it in secret not to spread panic through the town. Long story short, we soon after find my sister and another missing person who are now vampires. My character tries to snap her sister out of it, but it's useless. She's gone too far. So a fight breaks out, and even though I build my character around being able to fight, I'm pretty much useless in the fight as these two vampires are way too strong. Didn't feel all too great, but I wasn't the only one struggling, so I was okay with it. Okay, that's good. At least they're keeping it fair thus far. Why do I feel like it's gonna get worse? The fight gets interrupted by the vampire hunters who came to our rescue, who finish off the vampires, and the vampire lord who came out of the woods naked for some reason. Okay, this feels like a Freudian self-insert. I think it was implied that the vampire abused them, as I did ask out of game why the heck it was naked. But honestly, I don't want to think about it, as it disgusted me greatly, and I think it was completely unnecessary. No, that's an after the game talk. That's a check-in. That's like, hey, DM, that was a great game. Thanks so much, I really appreciate it. I worked really hard on it. Yeah, of course. Hey, I had a question for you. Yeah, shoot, go for it, anything. Yeah, I was just wondering, what gives with the naked vampire? Oh, it's just, they were abused, and that's how they ended. Yeah, but also, why did you go into such great detail about their chest specifically? Oh, they were built. They were a lumberjack. He was a lumberjack before he was a vampire, and I figured like the muscle structure would really help. Yeah, but also like, did you really have to describe the shape and size of the areolas in that great of a detail? After all of that, the vampire hunters warn us that a great danger is approaching, and since they liked our moxie, they were willing to let us join them to fight for the sake of humankind. My character, of course, being thrilled to become stronger and fight for her friend, agrees, but the head of the vampire hunters specifies that only men can be hunters, and that the woman had to become nuns or healers, which my character then refused out of stubbornness after trying to ask to join multiple times. What in the sexism? Okay, obviously, she's played with this group for a long time. OP has played with this group for a long time. They're really close friends. Who the hell is DMing this one and throwing in all this sexist bullshit? Listen, this is just an overall tip. Personal belief. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't throw unneeded sexism all over your campaign. Don't throw unneeded bigotry all over your campaign. Especially don't do it if your players don't agree that it's okay beforehand. Consent is key. Nuns or healers for the women. Oh, I really wish a Katara arc from Avatar: The Last Airbender would happen right now. That'd be nice. So when the session came to a close, I felt like crying, honestly. Valid. During the whole session, a lot of NPCs treated me like crap because I shouldn't speak up since I'm a woman. I know my friend, and I know she's obsessed with realism, but it feels like crap, and I felt like I couldn't do anything. I wish that she at the very least warned me about it. Exactly. If you're going to put this in your campaign, warn a brother, warn a sister, warn a person. I get it. Those stories are based off of Eastern European, Germanic, late 1700s to early 1800s historically, and you are basically on realism. And yes, we are all aware that women were not as respected then. But this is a game. Don't throw all that shit in there. You don't need it. If it doesn't add to the experience, if it doesn't add fun, don't add it. You know what I mean? This happened a year ago, and I still have to talk to her about it. But I feel like too much time has passed where it would be weird to talk about it now. It's not weird to talk about it now. I promise you that. If this is bothering you and this is sitting on your chest, bring it up. Talk about it. Communicate it. If you know this person for a long time, if this person is truly your friend, they will respect it and they will talk about it. And if it matters to you, it will matter to them. And if it doesn't matter to them, that's a whole other problem. God damn it. That's rough. Oh boy. This next story is titled, Player Gets Violent at Some Bad News. Why do I have a feeling this is gonna be rough? Okay, let's jump right in, shall we? So, I'm playing a homebrewed RPG with very simple rules, which doesn't really matter for the purposes of this story. The monsters are stereotypical D&D monsters for the most part. Only one player because no one else is available. Interesting. Okay. Cool. If you want to trade back and forth to play solo games, that's really fun. Solo games back and forth where you trade off being DMs is actually really fun. Me and my partner, we actually play Date Night Dungeons & Dragons by Urban Realms. Not a sponsor. And I recommend it to anybody who either you want to introduce your partner to Dungeons & Dragons or you and your partner already play, things like that. It's really fun. You could have a good time. Let's see how the good time gets ruined. Character has traveled to a coastal city to consult the church about destroying a cursed candlestick, which she found in a dungeon under a swamp near her home village. The nun and monk are organizing a ship to sail out to a nearby volcanic island to throw it in, and that's going to take a few days probably. They suggest character goes and has a look around the city. Gardens, statues, shops, etc. Character has no cash left, so shops are very little interest, but gardens are nice. While wandering around the second day, her exploration of the city is interrupted by screams and fleeing townsfolk. She investigates and fights some rat men. During the fight, she gets bitten. Once the rat men are killed, some city guard shows up. Thanks, one says. Bloody ratman. By the way, did you get bitten? Yes. Oh dear, the guard says. You're going to turn into a rat woman. First fine hairs will grow on your face and hands. You'll start to grow tail and you'll feel strong compulsion to devour cheese. And your nose will get all pointy. The player, i.e. not the character, screams at me. What? Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to, like, what? Do they have a phobia of rats? Do they have a phobia of cheese? Maybe it's pointy noses? Either way, I don't, what? The player, i.e. not the character, screams at me, stomps out of the room, into the lounge, puts a blanket over her head, and just screams. No words. I try to talk to her, but she's not listening. I manage to get some words in edgewise eventually. Listen, I say grumpily. 2 things. First, Even if they were telling you the truth, you know I wouldn't do that to you. The priest would use healing magic or something. Secondly, the first guard starts laughing and the second one can't keep a straight face either. They admit that they are trolling you. Still angry, she grabs a lap tray and tries to attack me with it until I tell her to stop. I'll never play with her again. Fucking 7 years old, man. What in the actual hell? I don't even know where to start with this one. Let's look at this psychologically, right? Initially, it's not rats, right? We can rule out rats because she fought the rat men. And what's scarier than a single rat? A 5'5" rat with a sword. That's just my opinion. That leaves turning into something, tails, or cheese? What happened? It was going so well. What happened? This is so stupid. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Don't ever do something like that. Ever. Please. Joking aside, don't do this. I completely get that you can't always control your feelings about something, but if you can, suppress it a little bit and then express it in a constructive way, not in a screaming and throwing a tantrum like a 7-year-old way while trying to hit somebody with a TV tray. All right, one more. Why not? Those were short. Players gaslight themselves to believe another player doesn't exist. This sounds funny to start off. Let's see where it goes. So, I work for a company that owns several brands. In the mall, which I work, the company has 3 stores, 2 of which are close to each other, but the third, the estranged child, is located on the opposite side of the mall. I started working for the company by working for the most popular of the 3. I hit it off well with several of the workers, where many of us bonded over a passion for D&D. This led to a few of them asking me to run Curse of Strahd for all 3 of them. I must have made a good impression, because as that was winding down, more of the people began asking me to run another campaign. This one, a homebrew. One of the players from Curse of Strahd stayed on for this campaign, though the other 2 backed out for personal reasons. However, a good number of coworkers joined up as well. In time, the party consisted of Saint, the Warforged Paladin, and the returning player. Cal, a tiefling rogue, and one of our managers. Amon, half-elf fighter and also a manager. Morgana, the human druid. Big Mac, the frog warlock. Hell yeah! And the only coworker to join the campaign from the estranged third store. Due to his working there, he had never met the others. Sulima, the Dragonborn wizard, and Big Mac's IRL friend. Sulima was the last to join, doing so after a few sessions. That sounds like a hell of a group right there. Just like,
I am a Warforged Paladin.
Yeah, my name's Cal. I'm a tiefling rogue. Name's Amon, half-elf fighter. Morgana, the human druid. I'm Sulima, the Dragonborn wizard. Hey, yo, I'm Big Mac. I'm a frog warlock. I like this. Session 0 came around, but the day of, Cal and Saint forgot, so couldn't make it. They said to play anyway, and they would join in Session 1. So the party for this consisted of Amon, Morgana, and Big Mac. They had fun, and prepared to meet the others later. Cal and Saint do make it to the sessions from now on. However, a new pattern emerges. Big Mac keeps on having complications, rendering him unable to attend. After a couple of sessions, Saint and Cal begin to joke that Big Mac doesn't exist, and that I made up his role to have inclusion from the third store. Adding to this is we have a meeting with everyone from all 3 stores is supposed to attend. Big Mac naturally couldn't make it. Even when I arranged mini sessions focused on half the party in which Big Mac got partnered with Cal and Saint, Big Mac couldn't make it. There was always that one person that flakes out last minute. I don't like flakes. There's one thing people need to know about me. I don't like flaky people. If you commit to something, commit to something. This is valid so far. Absolutely. Yeah, that person doesn't exist. You made him up. After repeated occurrences, I leaned into the joke, granting whoever played Big Mac that session a special Big Mac role in our Discord where we arranged sessions. That very session, I actually had to call Big Mac to clarify an important detail for his character. It was the first time Saint and Cal heard his voice, which they promptly dismissed as AI. Oh look, Big Mac finally showed up.
Hey yo, my name's Big Mac. I showed up finally.
Nah, that's just an AI bot. I love that so much. If they're being flaky, have some fun with it. Finally, Cal began picking up shifts at the third store and conveniently kept missing Big Mac. It took a couple more weeks before they finally met at work, and Cal got super excited, pointing him out to me. Saint still has not crossed paths with Big Mac. Okay, so not only is it the point of like, oh yeah, we have this other party member that joined, they keep on flaking, they haven't made it, but there are certain members in this party that have never met this person ever. This is hilarious in my book. This is so funny. I'm not saying be mean about it, but I am saying have some fun. I'm also imagining like Big Mac as this astral projected warlock frog. Like maybe it's a warlock who's locked away in a tower and they just kind of astral project in sometimes, but whenever they astral project, they got one mark wrong on the arcane rune, and so they astral project as a frog. I love that so much. Those are some pretty good ones. They were a lot more lighthearted than usual, and I enjoy that. I thoroughly enjoy that, and I hope you did too. But actually, I'm going to try and do a future video where I take RPG horror stories from you, the audience. If you have an RPG horror story that you would like me to read, there is a link in the description below. Go ahead and fill out the form, and you could have your horror story read out loud for the world to hear. This was fun. If you want some like actual horror stories and not so lighthearted, go ahead and check out the previous videos. They are on my channel. Thanks so much for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe if you would like. There's going to be more coming out, and I'm even working on more series to put out on this channel, so stay tuned for that. For now, I will say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.